Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy said on Tuesday that his country will no longer seek membership in the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, or NATO. The fundamental cause for Russia's conflict is said to be Ukraine's closeness to NATO members and the potential of it joining this military alliance as well. President Volodymyr Zelenskyy said that he was willing to discuss the status of the two pro-Russian territories of Donetsk and Lugansk, which Russian President Vladimir Putin had recognized as autonomous. Just before the attack, Russia recognized them as independent territory on February 24. He stated, "NATO is not prepared to accept Ukraine. Controversial issues and conflict with Russia are two things that the alliance is terrified of. The conflict over Ukraine is a struggle for influence and power." Ukraine's administration, presently led by President Volodymyr Zelenskyy, has shifted toward the West in recent years, wanting to join the European Union and NATO, while moving away from Russia's post-Soviet orbit. As a result, Russia launched an attack on Ukraine. And Russia's activities have generated worldwide outrage. As a result, the United States, European Union, Japan, Australia, and the United Kingdom all announced new sanctions against Russia, despite the fact that the country has previously been sanctioned for its invasion of Crimea, intervention in the 2016 US election, cyber attacks, and other activities. So far, the Russian army has established authority over the majority of eastern Ukraine, southeastern Ukraine, southern Ukraine, and northern Ukraine. Russian army is advancing from all of these locations towards central Ukraine. Russia asserts that its facilities are only 16 kilometers from Kiev's presidential palace. Russian President Vladimir Putin sets three big conditions. Russia has informed Ukraine that it is ready to suspend military operations at any time if Kiev meets a list of conditions, Kremlin press secretary Dmitry Peskov said on Monday. Dmitry Peskov said that Moscow demands are Ukraine cease military operations, they should stop their military action, and then no one will shoot. Amend its constitution, they should make amendments to the constitution, according to which Ukraine would reject any aims to enter any bloc, to include neutrality. Recognize Crimea as Russian territory, and recognize the separatist republics of Donetsk and Lugansk as sovereign states. So far, it was the most explicit Russian statement. Russia's demands were outlined as teams from Russia and Ukraine prepared to meet on Monday for a third round of negotiations aimed at resolving Russia's conflict against Ukraine. Peskov said, "It is not our intention to seize Lugansk and Donetsk from Ukraine. Donetsk and Lugansk refuse to be a part of Ukraine. For the rest, Ukraine is an independent state that will live as it wants, but under conditions of neutrality." The invasion, which began on February 24, has resulted in the biggest refugee crisis in Europe since World War II, which has sparked global indignation. All of the criticism Russia is receiving for invading Ukraine appears to be producing a lot of bruised emotions at the Kremlin. And Putin is widely regarded as a bad guy who steals land from other countries. President Zelenskyy criticizes the West for making unfulfilled promises. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy has slammed the West for failing to keep its promises to safeguard Ukraine against Russian aggression. Ukraine's Air Force defends itself with Soviet-made MiG-29 and Su jets, on which its pilots have received training. It has requested more Polish fighter aircrafts in order to continue the mission. Poland has now offered to provide MiG fighter planes to the United States for deployment to Ukraine. Poland's foreign ministry has stated that it is prepared to hand over its MiG-29 fighter jets to the US Ramstein Air Base in Germany, with the intention of transferring the planes to Ukraine in the future. Coca-Cola, Pepsi, and McDonald's have all halted operations in Russia. Coca-Cola, Pepsi, and fast food behemoth, McDonald's, have all said that they will stop doing business in Russia as a result of the invasion of Ukraine. The United States and the United Kingdom have announced prohibitions on Russian oil imports. According to US President Joe Biden, the US would no longer buy Russian oil by the end of 2022. The European Union also intends to reduce Russian gas imports by 2/3. The European Commission has outlined a strategy to dramatically cut Russian gas imports by 2022 by finding new suppliers, expanding storage capacity, lowering energy use, and growing renewable energy sources. A Pakistani girl expresses gratitude to Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the Indian Embassy for rescuing her from a conflict zone in Ukraine.
Hello. My name is explicit and I'm from Pakistan. And I'm very thankful to the Indian Embassy of Kyiv for supporting us all the way here, as we were stuck in very difficult situations. And also thanking the Prime Minister of India, and thank you so much for supporting us, and hope we get home safely because of the Indian Embassy.